It's Marv, working the graveyard shift again. Poured coffee for an old man in a threadbare coat, and couldn't clock who was really loaded. The line between a forgotten regular and someone who could buy the whole town is thinner than you think. While the rest of the staff scoffed at his muddy boots, one waitress stepped forward with a fresh pot. What started as a simple act of decency was about to shatter every rule in this small-town diner. Subscribe to the channel right now if you believe true respect is priceless. 5 in the morning at Route 9. Diner feels like the edge of the earth. The neon sign buzzes with a high-pitched hum that never really stops. Maya had been on her feet for nearly 10 hours straight. Her apron pockets were heavy with loose silver and crumpled receipts. In a place like this, tips don't cover rent, let alone medical bills. The morning rush brought truckers, commuters, and impatient locals. Everyone wanted their coffee hot and their eggs fast without a word of thanks. The kitchen staff grumbled behind the order window, rushing every order. Maya kept her composure, smiling through the exhaustion. She remembered every regular's favorite order before they even sat down. That kind of dedication is rare in a roadside joint that time forgot. But the manager, Greg, only cared about turnover and the register total. At 6:15, the front bell chimed with a weak, hesitant rattle. Cold wind swept across the linoleum as a figure stepped inside. The man wore a frayed brown canvas jacket coated in road dust. His scuffed work boots left damp prints near the entrance mat. A dirty ball cap shadowed his weathered face and gray hair. The cashier immediately lowered her glass cleaner and glared. Whispers flickered across the cook line like dry leaves in a breeze. In a town this tight, outsiders who look down on their luck get judged fast. The elderly man walked slowly toward a corner booth near the back window. He carried no luggage, just a small canvas bag tucked under his arm. The other customers shifted away, pulling their coats closer. He sat down quietly, resting his calloused hands on the laminate table. Nobody moved to hand him a menu or bring over water. Maya picked up a clean pot and a laminated menu without missing a beat. The lead cook muttered that she was wasting good beans on a drifter. She ignored the comment and walked right up to the corner booth. "Good morning, sir," she said with a warm, genuine smile. The old man looked up, surprised by the gentle tone in her voice. He asked for just a simple black coffee and whatever was cheapest on the menu. Maya noticed how cold his fingers looked as he held the mug. She slipped a pair of hot buttered biscuits onto his plate, free of charge. If you enjoy stories where kindness wins, hit that like button right now. The old man thanked her softly, taking a careful sip of the hot brew. He told her it was the warmest welcome he had received in days. Maya smiled and told him to take his time and warm up. She refilled his cup before he even reached the halfway mark. In a world chasing fast money, simple human decency still stands out. The manager's office door slammed open from behind the register counter. Greg stepped out, clutching a clipboard and scowling at the back section. He marched over to Maya's station with heavy, deliberate strides. "We don't run a homeless shelter," he hissed under his breath. Greg demanded to know if the man had cash to pay for his meal. Maya tried to speak softly, asking him not to make a public scene. The manager ignored her and walked straight up to the elderly man's booth. "Pay up front or get out right now," Greg barked loudly. The entire room fell quiet as spoons stopped clinking against mugs. The customer reached slowly into his frayed jacket pocket. Greg smirked, assuming the man had empty hands and no wallet. He threatened to call local police if the booth wasn't cleared in 1 minute. Tension hung in the air like thick grease smoke over the grill. The old man remained calm, his expression unbothered by the hostility. Cruelty often speaks loudest, right before pride takes a fall. Maya stepped directly between the manager and the seated customer. "His bill is on me," she announced clearly to the whole diner. She placed her own tip money on the ticket wheel to cover it. Greg sneered, warning her that insubordination would cost her job. She didn't back down, holding her ground with quiet dignity. "If standing up for a customer costs my shift, so be it," she said. The old man looked at Maya, his eyes showing profound gratitude. Greg grumbled, warned her this was her last chance, and walked away. The kitchen returned to its noisy routine. but the air felt changed. Maya turned back to the man and offered another fresh cup of coffee. He declined politely, saying he had everything he needed. Real courage isn't making noise. It's protecting someone when it hurts your own wallet. If you've ever stood up for what's right against a boss, comment "respect" down below. She checked on her other tables, her heart lighter despite the threat. Little did anyone know, the real storm was about to begin. The old man took one last slow sip of his black coffee. He wiped his mouth with a rough paper napkin and reached into his coat. The general manager watched from the register, counting down the seconds. He was already preparing to call the police if the ticket went unpaid. Maya walked over with a warm smile, placing the small check face down. "No rush at all, sir," she said quietly. "Take your time." The stranger looked up at her with eyes far sharper than his clothes suggested. "You have a good heart, young lady," he murmured in a low voice. He pulled a worn leather checkbook out of his frayed jacket pocket. Using a simple silver pen, he scribbled a quick note on paper. He folded the slip neatly and tucked it right under his empty plate. Then he stood up slowly, clutching his old walking cane firmly. Without making a sound, he walked past the staring staff out the front door. The manager scoffed loudly, convinced the old customer had skipped the bill. Maya ignored the manager's sneer and stepped up to clean the booth. She picked up the coffee cup and lifted the white ceramic plate. Underneath lay a single piece of paper, folded cleanly in half. She unfolded it, expecting a couple of crumpled single-dollar bills. Instead, her eyes widened as she stared at printed banking numbers. Written on the amount line was a number with 5 zeros. $100,000, made out directly to Maya's name. If you're loving how honesty pays off here, make sure to hit subscribe on the channel right now, she gasped, almost dropping the paper right onto the diner floor. Beside the check was a handwritten note on a yellow napkin. It read, "For treating a stranger like a human being when no one else would." The signature at the bottom was bold, crisp, and unmistakable. It belonged to Arthur Vance, the legendary real estate mogul. The same billionaire who owned the entire commercial district in town. Maya stood frozen, her heart hammering against her ribs. Arthur Vance wasn't just wealthy. He was notorious for testing people. After losing his wife years ago, he despised fake corporate flattery. He routinely dressed in thrift clothes to visit his vast holdings anonymously. He wanted to see how his managers treated those who had nothing. Most places failed his secret test within less than 5 minutes. Managers would call security or throw cold food in the trash bin. I actually made another video here on my channel about a billionaire checking who was real. Check it out. But Maya had broken his entire expectation with simple kindness. She hadn't served him for a big tip. She did it because it was right. Vance had sat in that booth observing every single detail of the room. He noted the manager's greed and the rest of the staff's apathy. And he noted the quiet dignity of a woman working 2 jobs. If you've ever worked hard without getting credit, hit that like button right now. The check in Maya's hand wasn't a mistake. It was an investment. And the billionaire wasn't done with this small roadside diner yet. The manager snatched the slip of paper straight out of Maya's hand. "What is this fake garbage?" he yelled, adjusting his thick glasses. He squinted at the official watermarks and the crisp ink signature. The cashier leaned over the counter, her mouth hanging wide open. Is that really Arthur Vance's actual signature?" she gasped. The room fell dead silent except for the humming refrigerator. The cook came out from the back, wiping his hands on a greasy towel. The manager's face turned completely pale, drained of all color. He realized he had just threatened and insulted an ultra-billionaire. "Give that back to me," Maya said firmly, reclaiming her check. The other servers suddenly started whispering frantically among themselves. They regretted refusing to serve the old man just moments earlier. If you've ever seen instant karma hit someone arrogant, comment karma down below. The manager tried to smile, his attitude flipping in a single second. "Maya, we're a team here. Maybe we split that tip evenly?" he stammered. Before Maya could reply, 2 luxury black SUVs pulled into the lot. Heavy car doors slammed in unison outside the diner's front glass. Men in tailored dark suits stepped out, holding leather briefcases. In the middle walked Arthur Vance, now wearing a crisp charcoal suit. The bell above the door chimed as the entourage walked inside. The manager stood frozen, shaking like a leaf behind his register. Mr. Vance walked straight past him, without giving a single glance. He stopped directly in front of Maya, offering a warm handshake. "I own this diner chain, Maya," he announced for everyone to hear. "And I am looking for someone with integrity to manage our regional foundation. The position comes with a full salary, benefits, and complete authority." Maya looked at the documents, tears swelling in her tired eyes. "As for your manager," Arthur added, turning his cold gaze slowly, "his termination notice is effective immediately as of this moment." Arthur offered Maya the position of regional director for his new charitable foundation right on the spot. Her starting salary would be more than 10 times what she earned after years of grueling shifts at the diner. Maya sat in disbelief, tears welling in her eyes as years of financial struggle vanished in a single moment. The disgraced manager was escorted off the property, stripped of his keys and title without a second chance. He tried to apologize to Arthur, but the lawyers blocked his path before he could even utter a single word. Karma came swift and unyielding, proving that cruelty always returns to haunt those who practice it. The arrogant co-workers watched from afar, realizing their prejudice had cost them their own potential fortunes. Maya accepted the offer with deep gratitude, promising to use her power to protect people in need. She packed her small belongings from the locker, walking out of the diner for the very last time as a server. Her journey showed that true dignity isn't measured by a bank account, but by how you treat the helpless. If you believe empathy always wins in the end, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Arthur walked alongside Maya, guiding her toward a bright new chapter filled with purpose and respect. The diner continued operating under new leadership, serving as a reminder that everyone deserves respect. Maya's story quickly spread throughout the town, inspiring others to act with unconditional kindness. In a world quick to judge by appearances, one simple act of warmth can rewrite a person's entire destiny. Arthur Vance tested humanity in the humblest places, and Maya proved that genuine integrity still exists. Treating every stranger with dignity costs nothing, yet it yields rewards beyond any worldly wealth. If you watched all the way to the end, drop the word kindness in the comments so I know you finished. How would you have reacted if you were in Maya's shoes that morning? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories about real human character. And right here on my channel, we have another video about a broke waitress defending an abused customer. Check it out. Never judge a book by its cover, because you never know who is sitting right across from you. This is Marv signing off. Keep your eyes open and stay kind out there.